Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today, we're diving deep into NsJail, a fascinating process isolation tool for Linux. It's really cool.
I've heard whispers about it, but I'm not entirely sure what it does. What's the core functionality?
At its heart, NsJail uses Linux namespaces, resource limits, and seccomp BPF syscall filters to create incredibly isolated processes. Think of it as a super secure sandbox.
A sandbox, you say? So what kind of things can you isolate? Networking, maybe?
Exactly. It excels at isolating network services, like web servers or DNS servers, preventing them from messing with the rest of your system. It's also great for CTFs, capture the flag competitions, and containing potentially harmful fuzzers.
CTFs? That's interesting. How does the isolation actually work? What mechanisms does it employ?
It's a multi-layered approach. It uses Linux namespaces UTS, mount, PID, IPC, net, USR, and CGROUPS for comprehensive isolation. Plus, it has file system constraints using CRUT and pivot_root, resource limits for CPU time, memory, and more, and programmable seccomp-BPF syscall filters using the CAFA language. It's incredibly powerful.
Wow, that's a lot of layers. So it sounds like it has different operational modes. What are those?
Yes, it has three main modes. Standalone once, which runs a process once and exits. Standalone rerun, which keeps restarting the process. And listen, TCP, which waits for connections on a specified port. Each mode is tailored to different use cases.
I see. And how about configuration? Is it complex?
The configuration is surprisingly elegant. It uses a protobuf-based configuration file, which is very expressive and easy to understand. There are many examples in the configs directory on GitHub, showing how to configure it for various scenarios, from running a simple bash shell to a full-fledged web browser like Firefox.
That's reassuring. But I'm a bit concerned about the security implications. How robust is this thing, really? Could someone still escape the sandbox?
That's a valid concern. While NsJail is designed to be very secure, it's not foolproof. A sophisticated attacker might find vulnerabilities, especially if the seccomp BPF policies aren't carefully crafted. It's crucial to understand the limitations and use it responsibly. The documentation emphasizes this point. It's critical to thoroughly review the seccomp policies.
Good point. So, what are some practical examples of how people use NsJail?
Oh, tons. They use it to run untrusted code, test security patches, run potentially dangerous programs in a controlled environment, and even for educational purposes. The examples in the documentation show how to run things like find or bash with very restricted access.
And it even works in Docker?
Yes! There's a Docker image available, making it even easier to use. It's a really versatile tool.
This has been incredibly insightful. Thanks for explaining NsJail.
My pleasure. Remember, NsJail is a powerful tool, but responsible use is key. Check out the documentation and examples on the NsJail website and GitHub. And that's all the time we have for today. Goodbye, and thanks for listening to Tech Bytes and News.
Bye-bye.